virtual story time today. My name is Miss Kayla, and I'm going to be reading 2 stories for you today that feature big, bad characters. Our first story is Alan's Big, Scary Teeth. And this is by Jarvis. Alan came from a long line of very scary alligators. He was known throughout the jungle for his scaring. It was what he did best. Alan would start each day polishing his scales, sharpening his nails, and brushing each of his big, scary teeth for at least 10 minutes at a time. And after practicing his frightening faces in the mirror, he'd sneak into the jungle for his morning round of scaring. Alan went, snap, snap, and grr, grr. And he said things like, I'm big, scary Alan, fear my razor-sharp teeth. He made the frogs leap off their lily pads, the monkeys tumble from the trees, and the parrots screech in terrible terror. Snap, snap, grr, grr. Wah-ah-ah-ah. I love being scary, said Alan. After a long day of scaring the jungle animals, Alan would head back home to the swamp, relax, finish the crossword in the jungle times, and take out his false teeth. Nobody knew about Alan's false teeth. Good night, teeth. Tweet gleams, my fairy snappers, Alan would say as he put them away carefully in his super secret hiding place. One morning, Barry the Beaver was up early collecting wood and came across a dozing Alan. Terrified that Alan might wake up and gobble him whole, he quickly dived behind a bush. Phew, that was close, thought Barry, just as a set of false teeth fell out of a bush with a very familiar snap, snap. When Alan awoke, his teeth were gone. My teeth! My teeth! Well, my teeth! What could he do? Maybe no one would notice. Could he still be scary without them? He decided to head into the jungle as usual. He made the frogs leap off their lily pads, the monkeys tumble from the trees, and the parrots screech. With laughter, Alan just wasn't very scary without his teeth. Alan slunk back to the swamp. He had never been more embarrassed. He came from a long line of very scary alligators. Scaring was all he had ever known. What would Alan do now? Poor Alan began to cry, just a bit at first. But then the tears kept coming. He howled and yowled more than all the jungle babies put together. And he could not stop crying. Until the next morning, when all the animals turned up at Alan's swamp with his big, scary teeth. We'll give you back your teeth, said Frog. What, really? Said Alan. On one condition, said Parrot. You have to stop scaring us. But what will I do? I don't know how to do anything else. We have an idea, said Frog. And so, every day, after polishing his scales, sharpening his nails, and brushing his big, scary teeth, Alan headed into the jungle and became Alan the gardener, Alan the hairdresser, and Alan the dentist. But every night, he became Alan, the big, scary storyteller, thrilling the jungle animals with his terrifying tales. Wah! I love being scary, said Alan. And sometimes he even let Barry borrow his teeth. Thank you for listening in. Let's start our next big, scary character story. The next book I have for you is The 3 Little Fish and the Big Bad Shark. by Ken Geist. Once upon a time, there lived a mama fish and her 3 little fish, Jim, Tim, and Kim. "It is now time," said the mama, "for each of you to make a home in the deep blue sea." So off they went. The first little fish, named Jim, swam away and met a seahorse playing in some seaweed. "Can I have some of this seaweed so I can build a house?" "Take as much as you can carry," said the seahorse. Jim gathered the seaweed and made a weedy little house. Jim had just finished building his seaweed house when he heard a big bad shark knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in." The little fish trembled and replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin fin." "Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in," roared the shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched, and he ate up every bit of the seaweed house. And Jim swam away just in time. Soon Jim found his brother Tim and said, "Don't worry, Jim, we fish stick together. You can help me build a sandy little house." Jim and Tim had just started to relax in the sandy little house when the big bad shark came knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in." To which the brave little fish replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin fin." "Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in," roared the big bad shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched until he got a sandy mouthful and the house crumbled. Jim and Tim swam and swam and swam until they reached their sister Kim. Kim was setting up her house in an old wooden ship. "The big bad shark destroyed our houses." "Don't worry, you can live with me," said Kim. And they did. The 3 little fish had just finished lunch when they heard the big bad shark knocking at their door. Little fish, let me come in." To which the smart fish replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin fin." "Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in," roared the big bad shark. The big bad shark munched and he crunched, but he could not smash the house in, and all his teeth fell out. The 3 little fish were safe at last. The end. Thank you for tuning in to today's story time. We hope to see you again.